friends, welcome back to our channel. In today's video we're going to be creating things out of wood because we're participating in this challenge called What Would You Make. As always, host is Connie over at Connie's Woodshop and DIYs and Brenda over at Rustic and Lace DIY. Guest host for this month is Amy over at Creatively Expressive. I'm going to have their channels linked in the description box as well as the playlist so you can see what everybody else created out of wood. I wanted to create wood dough ball. I really love those. I know I've seen them everywhere in any store, online, and they're beautiful. They really look beautiful in any space, on any shelf, as a piece of decor, or they can be very useful. But I decided to create my own. So what I did, I took these two pieces of wood that I just had laying in my garage, and the reason why I took two is because first I wanted to create a deeper bowl, if that makes sense. So I decided to glue these two pieces of wood together because I did not have any one thick piece of wood. So this is the way to do it if you want. Now I made some changes later on, you will see, but for now, first of all, I'm just cutting this to the size with my miter saw. So both of these planks of wood are the same size. So here they are. Now I'm just going to look around to see which is the prettier side, which one is going to be from the inside. So which one I'm going to apply a glue to. And the prettier sides, I'm going to just leave them from the outside. So I'm using this Gorilla Wood glue and I had trouble squeezing it out. So I just opened the lid and spread it out with my finger. I put a generous amount of wood glue, which normally is a good thing, but later on you will see I changed my mind. So I don't want to say much more. You will see it later. So I put these two together. I put 4 clamps, 2 on each side and then on lengthwise and 2 on the opposite sides. And I left this for several days, and just because I had other things to do, so I left this for several days to dry very good. But really, you only need 1 day for the wood glue to really set well. Okay, here it is how it looks like. And I left it to dry. For all of you that are new to our channel, welcome. So happy you're here. On our channel, you can see a lot of budget-friendly DIYs, decor ideas, thrift flips, home improvement DIYs, and much more. And if something like that interests you, we would like for you to stick around, watch our other videos, subscribe if this is something you like to see, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That way we're going to be promoted on our video will be promoted on YouTube and you're going to see us more often. So if you're new, we would like for you to just say hi and in the comments down below tell us your name. Okay, now that this is all done, I am tracing with a pencil, just creating kind of like an oval shape on the top portion, and I'm using a grinder to make that hole. This is what I had on hand. I'm sure there's other options. I know there is a certain sander that is very good for this. I did not have that. Grinder works as well. You just need to have a control over it because it tends to just go on its own way. So as long as you keep your hand steady, it will do its job. So I kept on going and grinding everything until I created a shape that I wanted, and then I was just digging it deeper and deeper to create that hole. One thing that I really like about this grinder is that it when it was grinding, it left that dark mark in the wood, almost like a burned wood. And that's actually what I was going for. I wanted this dough bowl to look as rustic, as old as possible. Okay, so when I was done with the first portion, this is what I was left with. I realized that this is too hard and too deep. So I decided I wanted to separate these two pieces of wood, and that's what I did. So now this is what I was left with. And I'm just going to go ahead and take my miter saw and cut the ends with a 45-degree angle to start really creating that bottom portion of the dough ball. So there's one, and I'll do the same thing with the other side. Now that I have this done, I'm going to go ahead and use the grinder. And here it is. Actually, this is how it looks like. already starting to look like a dough ball. And then on the bottom, I'm gonna have to grind it very well just because of the leftover of glue. But for now, I'm just grinding the edges and making everything nice and smooth. I really didn't want anything to look perfect, but first I wanted to smooth it out, and then I'm gonna rough it up even more. But this is really personal preference. If you're creating this, you can make it as smooth as possible. Really make it your own. I wanted it to look rustic. I wanted it to look beat up and old, since this piece of wood was not really old. So now I'm grinding that glue that was left over on the bottom and smoothing everything out as much as possible. And then when I was done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and continue roughing up all the surfaces of this dough ball. This was actually pretty fun process to do. Honestly, it didn't take me much time at all. And I know these dough balls can go from pretty inexpensive to very expensive depending on the store you're buying it from. I know on Etsy I've seen from $8 smaller ones to 60 something dollars, even more for a little bit bigger ones. But some high-end stores, they will charge you several $100s for these. And this was very, very easy to make. Okay, after I was done with this step, I took my sander just to sand everything up. Really, I didn't want it to be too smooth, but I wanted to sand out some of the areas and edges before I go back with the grinder and rough it up even more. So I was going back and forth until I was happy the way it looks like. Okay, now I took the grinder and I just, as you can see, made little indentations in the wood that look like a burned, or actually, let's say, if it was beat up, pretty much. So I just took a grinder and then just let it run in an angle to create those little indentations. And here it is. This is how it looks like when it was done to my likings. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take this wood stain, actually it's antique wax from Folk Art, and I took this silver lining by Waverly chalk paint, and I want to use baby wipes to apply it to my dough ball. So I started with mixing these two colors, and then I was going back and forth alternating the colors really until I got the color that I wanted. I didn't want anything to be uniformed. I really wanted it to be unique. As you can see, all the dough balls that you can find online or in stores, none of them have unique uniform color. But again, if you're doing this, you can really make it your own and create any color, any pattern that you would like, or any shade that you would like. After I was done with all this, and when I was happy with the shade that I achieved, or the color that I achieved, the only thing I wanted to do is to add a little bit more of that antique wax into those indentations that I made previously to make them stand out even more. I know there's different types of wax that you can use to make it stand out even more. I didn't want that. I really wanted just a little bit. And then that's exactly what I achieved. After I was done with all this, I'm going to show you in just a second how it turned out. I absolutely love it. One thing that I probably going to do in the future to use some mineral oil or any other food grade safe oil, just to be able to use this as a tray for, let's say, peanuts, or any other cheese board, as a cheese board or anything like that. But for now, just for the purpose of this video, I really just use it as a decoration. And here it is. This is how it turned out. I am in love with this. I could not be happier. I want to hear, what do you guys think about this one? Would you try to make something like this? And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. We would love for you to subscribe and stick around if you like this type of videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.